Get ready, America, for this is the best of Destination Small Town, a Cluck TV production, featuring the shows that have taken Sweet Swine County by storm. The reality hit, The Real Housewives of Sweet Swine County, Sweet Swine's favorite music show, Backstage at the Commune, the tastefully done cooking segment, Cooking It Up with Betty, the always zany soap opera, As the Corn Grows, and of course, the wildly popular talk shows that share what's happening inside and outside Sweet Swine County. Which shows will you be seeing today? Stay tuned and find out right after the break.
This program is made possible in part by Swine Tales Publication, the proud publisher of Sweet Swine County maps and plat books, now publishing authors from throughout Sweet Swine County. Swine Tale Publications is now making plans for their next book tour, and they may be held in these small towns with the release of Earl Steps Out, My Story by Earl Silo. Born and raised in Sweet Swine County, he never saw any reason to leave. After all, what could be better than good old Splithoof? Oh, sure, he's considered going to Newport for the annual running of the Pigs Festival. And he said he does enjoy a good pig race now and again. But when it came right down to it, he just couldn't make himself get all gussied up and drive 10 miles to see some other farmer's pigs race. Then he met Cassidy Davis, and she convinced him that he needed to get out of Sweet Swine and step out. She held his hand, so to speak, which got him out of Sweet Swine, but into hot water with his best girl, Clarice. But that's a whole nother story. Each of these towns are being considered for a book signing because of the information found on the best source about small towns of the Midwest. To learn about these towns, visit destinationsmalltown.com.
What's Cooking? A KLUK TV production, starring Abby Appetite, Lenny and Lola Leftover. Their destination, outside Sweet Swine County. Their purpose, to share their discoveries of the best cafes, restaurants, bakeries, supper clubs, and night spots. It all began when they realized food options in Sweet Swine County were limited. Now you can learn what they learned, with hundreds of food options. What's Cooking? In living color on the web.
This program has been made possible by the Swine Song Commune, where musicians, artists, and hippie types live together and share their passions. To learn more, visit the online magazine at sweetswinescoop.com.
Get ready, because just when you thought you'd gotten the cockleburs out of your overalls, they're now on TV. That's right, this is one weed you won't want to pull. The Cocklebur Morning Show, with hosts who deliver a mix of news, entertainment, and information about the communities throughout our story country. Now on this station and the web. Welcome back to another exciting episode of As the Corn Grows! Today, we join Katie as she tells Dr. Cornell all about Willie Odom, the kidnapping, and her escape from Aunt Ella's root cellar.
So, Katie, what brings you in today?
Oh, Dr. Cornell, my whole world is crumbling, it seems. First, Ronnie P. Silage and I were kidnapped by my boarder, Willie Odom, and then my boyfriend, Elmer Plow, is reassigned to a foreign field office in Russia. And now Ronnie Silage, who is my farm manager, is in Albuquerque, New Mexico for 2 months.
Well, you sound a little stressed.
You think?
All right, now this reassignment of your boyfriend and Ronnie leaving, those can be stressful, but they're not that out of the ordinary. This kidnapping, though, tell me about that.
Dr. Cornell, it was awful. Willie Odom was waving a big gun around and barking orders.
Why would he do that?
Money?
Ah, so he was demanding ransom.
No.
I'm confused.
Oh, Dr. Cornell, didn't Ronnie Silage go over all of this with you?
Well, Katie, you know, I can't really discuss other patients. I can't even confirm to you that Ronnie is a patient.
But we were both kidnapped at the same time, for the same reason, on the same day.
But I'm treating you now. I need to hear your story. I need to know what happened to you.
Well, to make a long story short, Dr. Cornell, Ronnie and I accidentally took Willie's money.
You accidentally stole from your boarder?
Willie Odom had been missing for quite a while, so we went into his room to find a contact name. And while we were in his room, we discovered Aunt Ella's sewing basket, and inside the sewing basket there was $200,000, and, well, we kept it.
So you found money in your boarder's room, and you kept it?
Well, Ronnie rightly believed that it was Aunt Ella's money. It was in her sewing basket, and why would Willie Odom be needing to sell pink flamingos in southern Minnesota if he had $200,000 in cash?
Okay, so you found the money in Willie's room and you kept it.
Yes, and that's because Ronnie said that it must have been Aunt Ella's, because if Willie Odom had $200,000, why on earth would he be selling pink flamingos in southern Minnesota?
And you believed Ronnie?
It made sense at the time.
All right, well, go on.
Well, you see, what happened was that Willie returned and he caught us off guard. And he was demanding his money back, and Ronnie was trying to explain this misunderstanding, you see? And Willie would have none of it. So he bound us and he gagged us, and then he took us down into this scary, moldy, awful root cellar. And you know, I didn't know I had a root cellar.
How did that make you feel?
How did that make me feel? It made me feel terrified.
All right, well, what happened then? Obviously you got out somehow.
Houdini Ronnie was able to untie himself and untie me, and we ran for help. And do you know, when we got to Officer Dave's and gave him our story, within an hour, Officer Dave was back at the root cellar, and he apprehended Willie Odom just as Willie had returned to finish us off.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, that made me feel good.
Now, this obviously sounds like a very traumatic experience. Tell me how you're coping.
Not well, Dr. Cornell. Not well. In fact, every night I'm having recurring nightmares. May I tell you about them?
Of course, please do.
Well, in the one that comes back every single night, Willie Odom shoots Ronnie, and then he puts the gun to my head, and then I hear click. And then I wake up, and I'm covered with sweat, and I'm shuddering and terrified. And Dr. Cornell, I have to tell you one other thing. I'm still hearing footsteps in the house.
It's just as I suspected. PTKS.
What's that?
Post-traumatic kidnapping syndrome.
It has a name.
It does.
Is there a treatment?
There is. I wonder, first of all, is it at all possible that you can get away for a while, like Ronnie, go somewhere far away and forget about all this?
No, there isn't. I can't. I'm sorry. I have to watch the farm because Ronnie, my farm manager, is in Albuquerque now.
Well, then here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to prescribe you some medication. It's going to help you relax. It's going to help you sleep. But then you are going to have to come back to see me at least twice a week for some intensive psychotherapy.
Johnny, I still don't understand why we aren't pressing charges against Boris and Natasha.
Manny, I've explained it to you 3 times. Don't you get it?
But Johnny, they held a gun on us.
I know. You know, there's nothing I'd like better than to see those 2 idiots put in prison for the next 20 years. But right now, it's strictly business.
Business. Business? We could have been hurt or killed.
Minnie, look at me. Did we get hurt?
No.
Did we get killed?
No, you silly Billy.
Well, then Vladimir said that I can keep the jewels and rubies that Natasha stole from you. We can keep the little golden chicken thing with the microchip that has all the Swiss bank accounts on it if we don't press charges against Boris and Natasha.
But Johnny!
No buts, Minnie. Hey, listen, as twisted and sick as it sounds, Boris and Natasha, they are family. And they must have been pretty desperate to travel halfway around the world just to kidnap us.
Oh, Johnny, couldn't we cash in one of those rubies and go on a nice, long, warm vacation?
Not now, Minnie. I have to get things straightened out with Katie over this KLUK thing, and crap, the bank examiners are coming tomorrow because of the robbery.
But what about Boris and Natasha? Won't they be going back to Russia?
Oh, you better believe it. That was part of the agreement with Vladimir on the no crime, no time deal.
What about Willie Odom?
Oh, it's the big house for him. He picked the wrong bank this time. In fact, Officer Dave wants me to meet him down at the station. I think he's got a lineup or something for me to look at.
Ooh, a lineup.
Mrs. Swanson, how's the sweets and treats business doing?
Well,
Really
Mrs.
good.
Swanson, Prairie Ann. Fancy meeting you here.
Hi, Betty. What you cooking up?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Well, Betty Thompson, seems like I can't make a move without tripping over you.
Well, I suppose you're here for Sweet Swine County chapter meeting of the Master Cooks of America?
Well, I certainly am. Why are you here?
Well, haven't you heard? They called me. I've been nominated for the Golden Muffin Award. My chocolate chip sour cream muffins have been nominated.
The Golden Muffin Award? Get out of town. I've been looking for a news story all week. I can't wait to get started.
I got a news flash for you, honey. Aunt Ella was making those muffins long before Betty Boop here was in diapers, and now she's claiming it for her own.
Well, I may have started with Aunt Ella's recipe, but I've added several secret ingredients of my own. That's why they've called me.
See there, Mrs. Swanson? Betty's added secret ingredients.
Rum is not special. She uses rum in all her recipes.
Well, that may be, but it's I who they've called. It's my muffin recipe that's been nominated. And, excuse me, what's this I hear about triplets?
Triplets? When, what, who? Giddy up!
Well, I'm not going to dignify that with an answer, you nosy busybody over there. It seems like you can't get your own men, you can't cook, and now you're trying to get my goat.
I can see it on your face. It's true then, isn't it?
Mrs. Swanson, is it true?
Whisk, whisk. Whisk, 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 whisk. Whisk! Do I have your attention now? All right. So, will the meeting of the Sweet Swine chapter of the Master Cooks of America please come to order?
Well, the proof's in the pudding. Will Mrs. Swanson confirm Betty's bit of juicy gossip? And will Prairie Ann have time to make the 6 o'clock news with the story? Find out after the break.
Who are these people and what are they doing? Well, they're talk show hosts, tourists, celebrities, and reporters from your neighboring county of Sweet Swine. Yes, I said Sweet Swine County, and they're sharing what they've learned about the businesses and points of interest in the small towns of the Midwest. Learn all that they learned on DestinationSmallTown.com.
This program has been made possible by The Daily Boar. This sometimes daily newspaper reports the news the residents of Sweet Swine County want to know. Also now featured online at SweetswineScoop.com.
Get ready, because now you can watch a full of fun daytime talk show that shares the latest and greatest news about the people, places, and events found all over our story country. The Women of Sweet Swine County, hosted by 3 sassy ladies that tell small town stories with big town attitude. Now on this station and the web.
This program is made possible in part by Swine Tales Publication, the proud publisher of Sweet Swine County maps and plat books, now publishing authors from throughout Sweet Swine County. Swinetail Publications is now making plans for their next book tour, and they may be held in these small towns with the release of It's You, Not Me, a guide to breaking up by Paris Ritchie. Born to wealth, Paris Ritchie is one of the most photographed women in the world. Women want to be her, and men fall at her feet. Although her love life is well documented in the tabloids, don't believe everything you read. Paris has had to kick more than a few lovers to the curb for what she calls shenanigans unbecoming of a Paris man. She's just a woman who knows exactly what she wants in a man and what she brings to any relationship. So if an affair ends, it's you, not her. Each of these towns are being considered for a book signing because of the information found on the best source about small towns of the Midwest. To learn about these towns, visit destinationsmalltown.com.
Get ready for a website like no other. A website where you will find stories done by reporters, tourists, and celebrities from Sweet Swine County. Yes, I said Sweet Swine County. With nothing happening in their county, they decided to do some stories about the businesses and points of interest located in their neighboring towns and counties. Take a unique look at life inside the small towns of the Midwest by visiting destinationsmalltown.com.
Get ready, because now you can see a late-night talk show filmed in front of a discerning yet agreeable studio audience. Split Hoof tonight. Cousin John and his incomparable sidekick, Earl Silo, interview a roster of guests who make appearances that you won't want to miss. Now on this station and the web.
This program has been made possible by Purdue University, Sweet Swine County's Institute of Higher Learning, with 3 classroom trailers that can accommodate up to 9 students each. To learn more, visit sweetswinescoop.com.
Welcome back to As the Corn Grows. Now, we join Officer Dave as he meets with Katie and Cousin John at Sweet Swine Police Headquarters to discuss Willie Odom's fate.
I suppose you're wondering why I've asked you down to the station.
Well, I can't speak for Cousin John, but I assume it has to do with the Willie Odom case.
Yeah, I figured you wanted us to pick him out of a lineup or something.
There'll be no need for a lineup. Mr. Odom confessed to the bank robberies.
Confessed? Well, that's great. Take that no-good, flamingo-selling bank robber, lock him up in Sing Sing, and throw away the key.
Well, but what about my case, the kidnapping?
Well, he admits he locked you up in the cellar.
Well, good, then he'll plead guilty and we can be done with this whole mess and just put it behind us.
Well, you see, that's why I called you both down here. There's been a new development.
Now, wait a second. Don't tell me you forgot to read that idiot his rights.
No, I mean, yes, I've read him his rights.
Oh, Officer Dave, you're making me very nervous. What is all this about? I'm getting nervous here with all this...
No, before you go off half-cocked, just hear me out.
Why do I not like the sounds of this?
Mr. Odom cut a deal.
A deal?
Now settle down. Mr. Odom agreed to cooperate and give up Big Louie. He's a career criminal responsible for over 100 holdups in the past 5 years in over 7 different states.
Great. He walks. He waves a gun in my face, he ties me up in my own root cellar, and he walks!
He comes into my bank, takes 100,000 of my damn dollars right out of my hands, and he walks away a free man?
Technically, the $100,000 Mr. Odom took was the money that Miss Katie had stolen from him. So the $100,000 Mr. Odom took from you was the money he'd stole from the Starr County Bank a week earlier.
And wait, the $100,000 that Katie paid me to pay out for loan, that Willie then stole from me, is $100,000 he stole from Starr County Bank?
Exactly. Oh, I thought this would be a lot harder to explain.
Well, don't we have a say in any of this?
Not really. Since the robberies crossed state lines, the FBI stepped in and cut the deal. Willie will rat out his boss and spend the rest of his life in the witness protection program.
Back up here a minute, Barney. The money that Katie paid off her loan with, that was ill-gotten gains. So her note is still due. We're going to have to take care of that.
What?
Cousin John's right, Miss Katie. You can't pay off your loans with stolen money.
But
Calm down, Miss Katie, calm down. The good news is there's a sizable reward for the person or persons who helped catch Mr. Odom and his associates.
How sizable?
How sizable?
$200,000.
Where do I pick up my check?
Actually, the money goes to Miss Katie and Ronnie P. Silage.
Crap.
Thanks for stopping at the Giddy Up Boutique, Ethel. We'll see you at the swap meet on Saturday. Bye-bye. Bye. Hello, Prairie Ann's Giddy Up Boutique. Let me put a little giddy up in your wardrobe. That's right. I have launched a new line of glamwear. Who'd you say is calling? Garrett Dawson? The Garrett Dawson? The I'll meet you at the Corral at midnight, Garrett Dawson? You want me to design your line of clothing? No problem. You name the time and the place, and I'll be there, Garrett. I will.
Oh, hey, how'd it go at the police station?
Oh, God, don't ask.
That bad, huh?
Willie cuts a deal. Katie gets a big old reward. I get a splitting headache. Crap, the bank examiners are coming on Monday.
Oh, my poor Johnny. See, I hate to leave you, but I have to run down to the market. Oh, a woman called about an hour ago. Said it was urgent.
Who was it?
Don't know, didn't say. Said she'd try back. See ya.
Bye. Hey, whatever you're selling, I'm not buying.
Oh, Johnny, you haven't changed a bit.
Mystic? What the? It's been over 10 years.
Yes, my dearest Johnny, it has been a long time. But in my heart, it seems like only yesterday since your lips touched mine.
Oh, where's Emil Scissorhands?
Emil? Emil and I are still with the circus, but enough about him. It was destiny when we met at that chicken pluckers convention in Dubuque, lo, a many moon ago.
Well, oh, wait a second. I don't know that much about fate. All I know is I went down to the hotel bar to have a drink, and you needed a light.
Hush, dear Johnny. Your words are like rhapsody to my ears. But I have to ask you something before you steal my heart away again.
Whoa, Mystic. Listen, we had a great time, but I've moved on.
Have you? Well, Emil and I have moved on as well. To Hungary. But first, I must ask a favor of you, John.
A favor?
A favor. Little John. John Robert, meet your son, Little John.
My son? Oh, crap.
Katie, get over here.
What?
Oh, Katie, sit down. You're not going to believe it.
Oh, what happened?
You're not going to believe in a million years who just called me.
Mrs. Swanson.
No.
Norma.
No, it was Garrett Dawson.
Garrett Dawson, the megastar Garrett Dawson?
Can you believe it? Giddy up.
Oh, my
God. He wants me to design a clothing line for him.
Oh, my gosh. How do you know it was really Garrett Dawson calling?
Oh, it was him. It sounded like him. And he's seen my clothing line on the web. And he wants to get together next week to discuss it.
Oh, Prairie Ann. You know, it sounds like that big break you've been praying for has finally happened. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wonderful. Well, be sure that you do not sign anything with Lawyer Ed's approval.
Oh, I won't. Can you believe it, Katie? Garrett Dawson!
Johnny, who was that woman I saw leaving from the driveway? Oh, hi there, little fella.
Hey, Little John, why don't you go in the other room and watch some TV while Miss Minnie and I have a little talk?
Sure thing, Mister.
Minnie, have a chair.
How cute, John. Are we babysitting?
Well, you could say that, Minnie. Now, Minnie, what I'm about to tell you happened years before we met. Just keep that in mind and hear me out.
Oh, Johnny, what have you done now?
Oh, that woman that you saw going out the driveway, that's the same woman that called earlier. Her name is Mystic Ray. She's a woman that I flirted with at a chicken pluckers convention in Dubuque like 10 years ago.
I don't like the sound of this.
Mystic Ray is a former bearded lady that works for the circus, and now she's a fortune teller, and her boyfriend Emil Scissorhands was the knife thrower. They had a little spat, and she was down at the hotel bar drowning her sorrows when I met her.
Oh, Johnny, you didn't.
Now remember, this was years before we ever met. One thing led to another, and we ended up spending the rest of the convention in my hotel room.
John Robert Olson, I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Hush, hush now, let me finish. To make a long story short, we parted ways. She went back to Emil Scissorhands, her old boyfriend. I came home here to Sweet Swine, and that was that. Till today.
So are you telling me that Little John is your...
That's exactly what I mean. Mystic and Emil have to go back to Hungary, and they can't take Little John with them. That's why they're leaving him here with us.
With us?
Yes, with us. Mystic Ray tells me that Little John is my son.
Your son?
It's my son.
Oh, crap.
Well, the chickens have come home to roost and the family is growing. Will Aunt Minnie warm up to motherhood and forgive Cousin John for his week-long affair with Mystic Ray the fortune teller? Find out next time on As the Corn Grows!
This program has been made possible by SweetSwineScoop.com, the online magazine that keeps Sweet Swine County citizens informed on what's happening. For if it happens in Sweet Swine County, it's news to us.
The lifestyles led in the small towns and counties of the Midwest are like no other. But we seldom hear about the points of interest and businesses located in these towns. Well, there's one TV station that's made it their mission to make sure the stories of the small towns of the Midwest are told, Cluck TV. That's right, Cluck TV, located in the neighboring county of Sweet Swine. See all the towns that are covered on KLUKTV.com.
Get ready, because our culinary expert and, dare we say, wine aficionado beyond belief, Betty Thompson, is preparing some tantalizing dishes for us on her show, Cooking It Up with Betty. In the midst of cooking, our dear old Betty does join her What's Cooking reporters traveling throughout our story country. Now, on this station and the web.
Destination Small Town, a KLUK TV production. The challenge to share what's happening in small towns of the Midwest. The stories are real. The pace is swift, with tourists, celebrities, and reporters from Sweet Swine County covering stories about businesses and points of interest. Destination Small Town in living color on the web.
This program is made possible in part by Swine Tales Publications, the proud publisher of Sweet Swine County maps and plat books, now publishing authors from throughout Sweet Swine County. Swine Tales Publication is now making plans for their next book tour, and they may be held in these small towns with the release of Poems I Wrote and More Poems I Wrote by Sweet Swine County's own Poet Laureate, Ronnie P. Silage. After serving as Poet Laureate of Sweet Swine County for over 20 years, Ronnie was encouraged to put his poetic masterpiece in book form for all to cherish and enjoy. With a wealth of life experiences to draw upon, Ronnie P. is a veritable pit of poetic musings and life lessons learned. Each of these towns and their businesses are being considered to hold a book signing because of the information found on the best source about small towns of the Midwest. To learn about these towns and their businesses, visit DestinationSmallTown.com.